Good morning. Happy Sabbath to you too. It has been a while. So the good news this morning is that winter is over. We're supposed to be over. And this is the first Sabbath of springtime. So praise God for that. And also, Jesus is coming soon, friends. Isn't that a good news? We should be rejoicing that you and I, by His grace, will be part of that final generation on planet Earth. That's what I'm looking for. The day when I can see Him. Imagine that moment, friends. We cannot even describe it. It's beyond our comprehension. But by His grace, you and I must be there, no matter what. Well, this morning, as always I do, I come first and then I share with you something about prophecy. So let's see some of the things that have been taking place of late. So we have an idea what is going on. Number one, I want to share with you what happened 2 weeks ago in New York City. That's the largest city in America. Because so many people have been coming into the city, and many of them are not nice people. They have been, stealing and ransacking businesses, killing people, even to the point that the police force, which is the largest in the nation, cannot handle the situation anymore. So now the mayor of New York City, without any legislation taking place, without the governor signing a law, decided to bring in the military to deal with the situation. So what I want you to see is how prophecy once again will be fulfilled, where America will repudiate every principle of its Republican and Protestant constitution. So we see now the military coming into the cities of America, trying to get a hold of the situation that is going on, and eventually they will not be able to. Imagine every day in New York City, every single day, over 10,000 businesses are somehow vandalized. People take things from them. It's chaotic. So the business community is saying, what are you going to do? Even if you call the police, there are so many of them, the police cannot handle it. And sometimes if you just steal something that is small, they don't even charge you. You get to go free. So we see how God, knowing what Satan was going to do eventually in the city, he said to his people, come out of the cities. And you know what he said? As fast as you can. Not as slow as you can. Run for your life, what he's saying. As fast as you can. She said, last night, I was awake at 2 o'clock in the morning. When I think of the families in the cities, and they need to come out of them as fast as they can. Now we see the wisdom and the mercy of God in giving us such a wonderful counsel. However, many of our people do not understand it. And even if they do, they don't like it. And they're not willing to follow it. So we see that now the military is taking control of the cities of America. It's not just in New York. Chicago, the mayor, he's saying, we need to do the same here in Chicago. In Denver, in Philadelphia, in many other cities, the mayors are crying out, do something. We cannot handle the crime and the delinquency that is going on right now. Friends, and we ain't seen nothing yet. This is only the beginning. Every time I see news like that, I praise God that I'm not there, friends. That I'm up in the mountains of Washington. But I cry for the people there. Even in family members. They do not want to come out. Even though I've been telling them for a long time, come out. Not yet. We're doing well. I'm in a nice neighborhood. I'm in a gated community. Nothing is going on. They don't see the danger that is approaching. And every day is closer and closer to where they are. So the good news is that Jesus is coming, friends. Amen. Let's dwell on that. If not, we're going to go crazy. Every time you feel like discouragement is coming in, don't allow Satan to play games with your mind. He's a defeated foe. Think of Jesus, what he did on the cross, what he's doing right now in the most holy place, what he's willing and able to do in your heart, in my heart as well, and the blessed hope that he's coming soon. So God is wonderful. The bad news is that we're not ready. None of us are ready. That's the bad news. You know, it comes to my mind the statement that says there is so much rubbish in the door of the heart that Jesus cannot come in. It's there. And it says it's up to us to remove all of that rubbish that is in the heart. Push it away. So Jesus can come in and be welcome into the heart. And then he can finish the good work that he has begun in us. So friends, it's time to every day, like Mary did, come to the feet of Jesus and just listen to him and enjoy that time with him, that fellowship with him, praying and just listening to his voice as we open the Word of God. And then we go to the testimony of Christ, Jesus Christ as well, and we're doubly blessed. That's what we need to do. Say, God, if there's anything in my heart that is not pleasing to you, whatever might be the case, by your grace, help me to take care of it today. Not in the future. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be for us. Today is the only day that we have. The past is behind us. And the future is not here yet. But every moment we have to make a decision. Is Christ in that decision? Are we doing things that is pleasing to him? Are we loving him more than anything? Are we loving other people as well? Are we here to bless other people? As we're being blessed by him, then we become a channel of blessing to other people. Or we're just here for money, prestige, fame, possessions. If that is the case, we're walking on the broad way. And we need to walk in the narrow way. We need to say, Jesus, change my road. I don't want this road. I want to go into the other one. And he will help us make the transition. There is power in Jesus to give us victory. And he loves us more than we can even imagine. Friends, the love of God is so huge that all that we know is a drop of it in an ocean. We have no idea how high the price was paid for our salvation. We would never ever, not even in heaven, will be able to comprehend 100% why God did what he did for us. That's why throughout eternity, we're going to be studying that plan of salvation. It's awesome. It's wonderful. It's amazing. But now we have the opportunity, even here, even though we will not be able to grasp all of it, get as much as we can out of it and make it our own every day. And then share that good news with other people as well. So we see as New York City just the beginning of it. I would not doubt it that eventually we'll come to Seattle and even Spokane, where the situation will be out of hand. And you know that the Constitution does not allow for the Army to intervene in civil things. The Army was to protect us from foreigners, for invasions, not to deal with social issues in the country. That's the police force, not the military. However, we see the militarization of America, and if you know what I'm trying to say, where now not even the police force, the largest one in the nation, which is New York City, can handle the situation. Every single day, we have between 5,000 and 10,000 people coming into the U.S. We have an open border right now. And not only the people coming through the border, now we're flying people in from different countries. Flying them in. No charge at them. It's free for them. You and I are paying for that, by the way. So you have people from different countries not just walking into the U.S., but now you have people flying into the U.S. Some of them are nice people. Some of them are not nice people. You have military people coming into the U.S. by the hundreds of thousands. Chinese, Russians, Somalis, Venezuelan gangs are coming in. All kinds of elements that are here to create terror and a crisis. They are here. I don't know if you have seen a video. I don't know where this man was coming from, but he was coming into the U.S. right at the border. He was a Hispanic man, and the reporter in Spanish was asking him, what are you doing here? Why are you coming into the U.S.? And he said, you will find out. That's all he said. You will find out who we are and what we're here for. And this is just one of them. So we can see that the nation is about to collapse. And that's another thing that I want to share with you. Another piece of news. When was it? Over a month ago, perhaps? Tucker, you know who Tucker is? He's a journalist. Yeah, Tucker. He interviewed President Putin. And you know who that is, for sure. That man is a dictator. And he's not a nice man. He's an evil man. If you're part of the opposition, he will get rid of you. He'll kill you. Okay? However, even though he's not a nice man, we have politicians in this country that are weaker than he is. That are more evil than Putin. And that interview, over 1 billion people saw it. Imagine how many people saw it around the world. Perhaps not at the moment, but since then. Okay? And Tucker was asking him, why don't you get along with the United States? And he says, I want to. They don't want to be friends with us. And then he went on and he says, you know what? The United States is not a democracy. And I agree with that. The United States was never meant to be a democracy. It was meant to be a republic. That's the difference. A democracy is the majority ruling. That's what democracy means. Majority ruling. A republic is the law of the land. The land rules. Okay? But then he says it's not a democracy because the presidents, plural, that you have been having, they are not running the country. Then Tucker says, what are you saying? He said the CIA is running the country. And he gave an example. He says, I was not president of Russia in the 1990s. However, I met President Clinton. He was the president then. And I talked to him. And he was a nice guy to me, he was saying. Okay? And I said, we Russians, we would like to join NATO. You know what NATO is? Okay. That's the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. He says, and Clinton said, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Then you can be closer to us. However, sometimes later, Clinton, once again they met, said, no, you cannot be part of NATO. So as a president, he wanted me to know that the United States was open to the idea of Russia joining NATO. When he went back to America, I don't know what happened. But someone told him, don't say that. It's not going to happen. We need Russia to be our enemy. They cannot be an ally. They have to be an enemy. So, who's running the country? According to Putin, the CIA. Let me see if I have the. Yes, it's here. And NPR. This is a newspaper. Says U.S. is run by the CIA and other agencies, not elected officials. Putin claims in Tucker Carlson interview. Okay. This article that I have right here on my phone is from a Catholic newspaper. Aletheia, that's the name of the newspaper. And there's an article in that newspaper that is very revealing. It says why the CIA is called the Catholic Intelligence Agency. CIA. Catholic Intelligence Agency. Even they are telling us what the CIA is and who is running the CIA, therefore is running the U.S. I continue reading. Says some, let me see if I can make it a little bit larger. Says 3 out of the last 5 CIA directors have been Catholic. Michael Hayne, Leon Panetta, and the current director, John Brennan. Looking back, a number of Catholics led the agency in critical periods during the Cold War. Some of the most influential directors in the CIA history have been Catholic. Men such as Walter Smith, John McCone, William Colby, William Casey. They were not just casual Catholics. They were devout mass goers, in many cases members of groups like the Knights of Malta. From a Catholic reporter. So when Putin was saying that CIA is running America, who is running actually America? Secret societies. And who runs the secret societies? Jesuits. Rome. So today, the face that we see on the news, Biden, is not the president. He's the face that we see and he's the voice that we listen to. He's not calling the shots. He's just another puppet. Like Trump, believe it or not. Like Obama, Bush Jr., Clinton, Bush father, Ronald Reagan. Some people say, oh, he was such a wonderful president. Friend, that man was very dangerous. He pretended to be pro-American, but he's the one that united the Rome and Washington, D.C. Carter, Ford, Nixon, Lyndon Johnson, all of them were puppets of Rome. The only one that was not, and he paid for it, was Kennedy. Even though he was a Catholic. But when he was running for the White House, he went down to Dallas, Texas. And he had a meeting with over 5,000 evangelicals, pastors, mostly Baptist. And he says, I'm going to run the country according to the Constitution, not according to the papacy. Yeah. He said that. If you don't tell your members how to vote, I promise you, I'm going to run the country by the Constitution. And he tried. You know that he was thinking of dismantling the CIA? He was willing to bring the troops back from Vietnam. He said, there's no business of us being there. You know what we fought in Vietnam? To establish a Catholic government. That's what we're there for. There's a book written by a British newsman. He's dead now. Abro Manhattan. I don't know if you've heard of him. Why we went to Vietnam. And in that book, he tells us that we went to Vietnam to establish a Roman Catholic government in a Buddhist country. And 58,000 Americans died for that. Not only that, Kennedy says we don't need the Federal Reserve Bank. The money, Congress has the power to create money. He did not last 3 years. He was killed by the CIA. And we know that today. Even his nephew that is running for the White House, he's not going to make it, by the way. Robert Kennedy. Even his own nephew says the CIA killed my uncle. No wonder he's not going to make it to the White House. I'm not saying he's a good candidate either, because in many other areas he's not. But on that point, he's right. He's right. So CIA, Catholics in action. Let me see if I have another article that I can share with you that talks about, that's the same article. Oh, this is from another Catholic newspaper, Catholic Herald. Why Catholics thrive in the CIA. So they're telling us out in the open. They're not hiding it anymore. And says Robert Kennedy, I just mentioned that, Jr. sees overwhelming evidence CIA involved in JFK assassination. So what we see today happening in the U.S. is that the U.S. is being dismantled, piece by piece. Okay. In 2016, Hillary Clinton was supposed to win the White House, right? Well, that's what they make us think. But they already had a man, Trump. And he won. As he lost in 2020, if you know what I'm trying to say. Elections are not elections anymore, they are selections. They selected people and says, you are going to be a senator or a congressman or a mayor or whatever, or president, a justice of the Supreme Court. So Hillary was supposed to win, and she lost. And people said, wow, good, because that lady is not a nice lady either. She's something else. Okay? By the way, she used to be a Republican. In 1964, she was campaigning for Goldwater, a conservative Republican. She was a Republican out of Chicago. And she was campaigning for that man in 1968. Now she was a Democrat. And a liberal one. Okay. So when Trump won in 2016, wow, what a surprise. And people were happy. We got rid of that Hillary Clinton. She's not good. Now they had the man in power that was going to create a condition in the country of division. Because he's a polarizing figure, if you know what I mean. You either love him or you hate him. That's what they wanted. Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. Even Jesus said it. A kingdom divided against himself shall not stand. So they created a man to create division. Of course, they use race. They have and have not. Illegals and illegals. Straight and homosexuals. They created class war, if you know what I'm saying. And that went in a crescendo. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. And now he was running for the White House again. And then there was another man running for the White House, Biden. A man that was not even able to campaign because he doesn't have the mental ability to do that. When he had a campaign rally, you have 50 people showing up. When Trump had a rally, you have 5,000 people showing up or more. And guess what? Who won? The other guy. The one that was not campaigning won. There was massive fraud. I'm not saying that Trump is the guy, because he's one of them. He's here to the right. Biden is here to the left. So, Obama created Trump. Trump created Biden. Biden is going to create Trump again. Possibly. Possibly. What I'm trying to show you this morning is that we are about to see a nation destroyed from the inside out. America is too powerful to be conquered by another nation. People will rally as one and will defeat any enemy. It's too prosperous. It's too free to be conquered by any nation. But if you have the right people inside that look American, they talk American, then you can destroy it by using the un-American people. In 3 years of this administration, the country has been destroyed, friends, like never before. So what you see that is happening is not because of Biden. It's because Rome is destroying the nation. They're just using Biden as the front man. I'm not saying that he's not to blame. He's to blame. He knows what he's doing. As Trump knows what he's doing. As senators and congressmen, they know what they are doing. Judges, they know what they are doing. It's not just out of the blue. There's an agenda and they are willing to follow that agenda. Let me read it to you. It's in the book, The Great Controversy. It says, while many of our rulers are active agents of Satan. Many. Is that the majority? Yes. What they are? Active agents of who? Of Satan. They know what they are doing. They know the agenda they are trying to implement. They know God also had his agents among the leading men of the nation. Satan has many. God has few. But you have a few people in power. And God is using them to give us a little more time of freedom. To prepare and to get ready. Very few. Perhaps you can count them with your fingers. And you have a few fingers left, maybe just one hand. You have a senator here and there, perhaps a congressman here and there, a judge here and there, that they do what is right. Because God rules the universe, not just this tiny little world. And it's true, He allows Satan to do what he wants because it's his time now. This is your time for Satan. But every now and then God says, that's it, no more. Stop. You cannot go any further. And then give us breathing room to prepare, to do missionary work, to get our finances in order, to get our health, mental health and physical health in order. Give us time so we can get more into the Word of God. Give us time to do what we need to do to have right priorities. And then once again you see the evil one taking control. God says, that's okay, do it. It's your time until I said so. And every now God says otherwise. Says, no more for now until I let you again. So I believe that we are heading for a civil war in America. And I believe that because God said that. In 1899, the prophetess, the woman of God, wrote that another civil war is coming to America. She said, India, China, and Russia. India, the most populous nation on planet Earth. China, second one, powerful nation. They produce 28% of what the world consumes in China. Because many industries have moved to China. They pay just a pennies. They're exploiting the Chinese people. And the government in China allows that because they are getting rich. Don't forget they're communists. They don't care about people. They don't even believe in God. It's money. That's the God. And the Bible says that the love of money is what? How many? All evil. All evil. So when you see a communist system or socialist system or Marxist system, it's the same. That system will make the rich poor, will make the poor very poor, and the rulers very rich. And then says Russia. And then she said, or she wrote, in the cities of America, thousands upon thousands will be dying of starvation. We ain't seen that yet, right? What's going to happen with the economy when people are starving? What is the meaning of starvation? The economy is gone. You see what is happening in Haiti right now? A little tiny place where evil people have taken over and people are starving. No water, no electricity, no jobs. Inflation is hyperinflation. People are cutting grass to eat. That's not too far from us, friends. Just a couple, perhaps 200-300 miles from the U.S. So what is happening there is going to happen where? In the cities of America. People are starving. What is the meaning of that word, starving? No food, no money, no jobs, no employment, no welfare anymore. All of that gone. And now you have millions of people coming into the States, into America, with no skills. They don't know the language. They just want a piece of the pie. The problem is that there will be no pie. And now they're going to say, wait a minute, what happened to the American dream? It's going to be a nightmare. Some of the people coming into the country right now, in Texas especially, they're getting into people's houses and taking things from them. There's nothing the people can do. When you have 100, 200, 300 people coming into your house and they take everything you have, you can call the police. Maybe you have 20 police showing up. What are they going to do? Nothing. Nothing. Because they're coming into, they're hungry, they have nothing, they have been walking or who knows what for days. And they say, there's a house there. Let's get into the house. They have some money. They have food. They have what we need. There was a family that was taken out of their homes. They had a home and a little home behind their home. And they came and said, you go out. They showered, they ate, they slept. You come back tomorrow. Nothing happened. Okay. I was reading the newspaper a couple of days ago in New York City, a lady that she had more than one house. One of the houses she was remodeling to put it on the market to sell it. It's $1 million house. It's not just any little tiny ugly house. It's not a rundown house. Well, people are moving to the house. People from the street, they moved into her house. And she came and says, you get out of here. This is my house. What are you doing here? Well, the police showed up. Do you know who was arrested? The owner. You cannot do what you're doing. You have to go to court. You have to wait 30 days. You have to file a complaint. And then, depending on what the court says, we'll take care of you. In the meantime, you are arrested because she was trying to take care of her property. This is already happening here. Says, I'm glad I'm not in New York City. But I feel sorry for that lady. Because when her parents died, they said, this is your house now. You move into, this is your house. And now she has no house. Oh, she has a house, but that house that is also her house is not hers for now. It's $1 million house. The world is becoming an ugly place. That's why we need to look every day more like Jesus. Lovely Jesus. Because you and I will be placed in a situation where Satan is going to squeeze us. If you know what I mean by squeezing. Let's say that you have a sponge. When you squeeze a sponge, what comes out of it? Whatever you put in it. If you put water in it and you squeeze, what comes out of it? Oil? Vinegar? Wine? Whatever you put into it, that's what comes out of it. So what are we putting into this sponge? Because eventually Satan will squeeze me all he can. All he can. What is it going to come out of me? Bitterness? Eye for an eye? Violence? Cursing? No, the opposite. Remember when Satan squeezed Job? Is he squeezing good? All he had 10 children. One day, God. Imagine that. 10, no one. And perhaps when there's not just children, there were sons-in-law, daughters-in-law, grandkids. God. Like that. In one day. Then all his businesses, 7,000 sheep, gone. 3,000 camels, gone. 500 oxen, gone. Plus the employees, gone. Was Satan squeezing him? Yes. And on top of that, he got sick from the head to the toe. So he squeezed him all he could. What came out of him? I know my God. I know in whom I believed. And even if I die, one day I'll see him. He gave, he took away. It wasn't God, by the way. It was Satan taking away. But he didn't know that. Friends, that point, you and I had to go through it. It is a country, I'm going to repeat myself, it is a country that Satan will squeeze, will be this one. Because this country has more opportunities than any other country in human history. More freedom than any other country in human history. More prosperity than any other country in human history. More privileges than any other country in human history. And when this country says, goodbye, God, at the National Sunday Law, then in the books of heaven is written national apostasy. And then says immediately will come what? National ruin. Then God is going to tell Satan, that's your country. Rule it as you wish. And then say, all right. Then he's going to look around. Oh, we have some faithful people. Let's squeeze them all the way. That's you and me. It's not the people in Mexico. They don't have much to lose. It's not the people in Haiti. They have nothing to lose. It's not the people in Ukraine or in Gaza. It's us. Here is where the test will be more severe. And you and I need to prepare for it. That's why we cannot continue having a relationship with Christ that is only on Sabbath. That's why it's a crime to come to this beautiful place every Sabbath and listen to present truth, when that truth is not doing anything for us. It's just head knowledge. Let me read it. Oh, the side of pages. 309. Listen, this says, the greatest deception of the human mind in Jesus' day was that a mere assent to the truth constitutes righteousness. Jesus was giving the Sermon on the Mountain to the Jewish nation. That's you and I. The greatest deception of the human mind in Jesus' time and in our time is the same. To believe that because we know the truth, and we know the truth, friends, is righteousness. In all human experience, a theoretical knowledge of the truth has been proved to be insufficient for the saving of the soul. Are we playing games with God? Are we doing things that we know are not good for us? They are counterproductive to our walk with God, but still we continue doing it? How about thoughts? How about my words? How about my life? At home, at work, in church, in the community. Can people see that Jesus is real in my life? When just pretending to know truth. However, that truth is not doing anything for us. Well, it's doing something. You know what it's doing? If you read testimonies for the church, I think it's page 136, 35 says, the truth that we possess, if it not save us, will ruin us. I'm going to repeat that. I'm paraphrasing. The truth that we possess, if it does not save us, will ruin us. It does not bring forth the fruit of righteousness. Isn't that what we need to get into heaven? Righteousness? And it's not our righteousness. Must be Jesus' righteousness. That's the only righteousness that will take it from here to there. A jealous regard for what is termed theological truth often accompanies a hatred of genuine truth as made manifest in life. When you see history, many times the greatest crimes, genocides have been committed in the name of God. Look at the Inquisition. In the name of God, we need to kill him. Well, let's torture him to the point that he wants dead. In the name of God. Says the Pharisees claimed to be children of Abraham and boasted of the position of the oracles of God. Were they descendants of Abraham? Yes. Were they children of Abraham? Yes. Did they possess the oracles of God? Yes. Was that good or bad? It was good. By the way, do we possess the oracles of God today as a movement? Yes. The truth for this time, God gave it to us as a people. We don't deserve that privilege. It's unearned. It's unmerited. It's a blessing. Yet, these advantages did not preserve them from selfishness, malignity, greed for gain, and the basest hypocrisy. They thought themselves the greatest religious of the world, but their so-called orthodoxy led them to crucify the Lord of glory. And history will repeat again. Many of us will do what they did. Meaning well. We meant well. We were genuine, sincere. But we forgot that this message is not just what we think is or should be who we are. Character development. Character development. That's why God raised this movement. All the doctrines that we have, with one exception, the sanctuary message, came from other religious organizations, even the Sabbath. Remember Rachel Oakes, a Baptist? She taught us the Sabbath. The only one that did not come from any other religion organization was the sanctuary message. All the others came from other religious organizations. So God raised this movement not just to have the right doctrines. He needed a people that would vindicate the character of God at the end of time. When Satan is squeezing the entire world, especially this country, there will be people that will say and testify, I'd rather die than sin one more time. Take everything I have. And eventually that's going to happen. After the National Sunday Law, for sure, Whatever you and I have, your property, your car, your bank account, whatever you have will be taken away. Perhaps even before that. I believe that even before the National Sunday Law, we're going to see the financial collapse of the world, including here. When this nation falls, every nation around the world will fall. The world will fall. We're going to see that money will be taken away. Cash, that's what I meant, cash. And then there will be a currency that is digital. If you know what I'm trying to say this morning? CBDC, central bank currency, digital currency. That will be what? Then you have no money. I have no money. Whatever money we have is a number in a computer. That money, that digital currency, is programmed. So they will tell us where to go to buy, how much we can buy, how often we can buy. Do you think that you will be able to give money to a ministry like this? No. And I'm going to show you later. You know, that countryside group there, nah, they are troublemakers. No, you can't. No, it's my money. I want to. No, you cannot. You push the button. Transfer. No. No. It's your money, yes, but it's not your money. So if there's a time that we need to be generous with the cause of God, it's now. Where you can write a check. Where you can take cash and give it. When you can go to the bank and transfer from one account to another account in another bank. Whether it's in the mission field or was here in the U.S. Because eventually, even though you might have $1 million, it's your money, but they'll tell you how to spend it, when to spend it. Then you go to Costco. Are you going to buy in Costco? Say, nope. Only one bag of rice. That's it. No, I need two because I want to help the homeless. No. Only one bag. That's it. This is the time to do the work that we can. Time is coming when we're going to have to do the work, says, in the most trying circumstances. This is the time. So you and I go home this afternoon and say, let me see my finances. Where is my money going to? Because I want to help more because of God, whether it's here or overseas. Time is coming that we will not be able to. Perhaps if you want to transfer money to another organization that is going along with the program, oh yeah, no problem. You can say yes. But you don't want to support that organization because it has compromised. It's not moving forward the agenda of God. It's moving forward another agenda. Well, my time is up. May God bless us, friends. May we see where we are in human history. We cannot afford, I repeat myself, we cannot afford to continue having a relationship with Jesus that is just on Sabbath. It has to be 7 days a week, not the seventh day of the week. Every day and every moment of the day. Let's allow Him into our life so we can get His righteousness imputed and imparted. And then His image will be reflected and revealed in us. Blessings.